Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Cracked Open Games and Toys. Today we're checking out Target Master Sureshot from the Transformers Age of the Primes line. Just picked up this guy recently along with Blastoff. We'll be doing a combo review with Blastoff and Vortex, which I didn't get to cover earlier, so look forward to that next week. But right now let's take a look at Sureshot. We'll go over the packaging, the accessories, robot mode, transformation, and alt mode, and then some final thoughts and comparisons at the end of the video. So yeah, let's get started and take a 360 look at the packaging. Alright, and as far as accessories concerned, you're going to get his Target Master Spoil Sport. Nice close-up view of him. He looks pretty awesome. I love when they include extra accessories. And just in case you guys are looking for this guy, I got mine at Target, and they've got it this week, I think until the 17th, which is in a few days, but I believe that runs till this weekend. You can get 20% off the Transformers this week, so definitely make use of that if you are looking for some Transformers in store. There is Spoil Sport. I'm not going to make a whole transformation section out of this guy, but we'll just go over it right now. This is the transformation for him. You just flip out his little blaster parts there, and then tuck his head under, and he's ready to go in blaster mode. So that easy to do. We won't include that in the transformation section. And as far as articulation on him goes, there is, that popped out of there kind of easily. Watch out for that. Just slides back into that joint there. But there's nothing. He is non-articulated, so he is literally just a gun that can transform and look like a robot and then transform into his blaster. So that's what you're going to get for Spoil Sport there. And he does include these little fin pieces. We can go ahead and connect these now. And they're just gonna, you can really put them anywhere that looks good to you, but what they're showing in the instructions in the box, they're gonna clip onto these back shoulder pieces here and then wrap around like that. And we can do that on both sides. There we go. All right, so he's all set up with those. Again, if you prefer him to have them somewhere different, there's ports all over this thing, so you can really put those spoilers wherever you want to. And that's really all we're going to get with the accessories. Go ahead and take a look at the robot mode next. Yeah, here's a look at the robot mode, and he is a nice looking robot. Let's get a close-up of that head sculpt. And man, that thing looks pretty. They did a really nice job with him. And we'll do a full 360 and everything in a minute here. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys up close on that head sculpt. As far as articulation goes, you get out to there with the shoulder. Get a full 360 at the shoulder. You can move these things out of the way a little bit, those fins. We do get a rotation at the bicep, bend at the elbow. No articulation at the wrist. That's kind of disappointing. And actually, let's see. Nope, there is nothing there. That is all one solid piece. So no opening hand, no opening fist, and no articulation at the wrist, which is kind of a disappointment. Most of these deluxe figures do have some kind of wrist rotation there. Let's see. He does have rotation at the waist. That's pretty sick. No crunch or anything. We get out to there. A full Van Damme on the legs. That's pretty sick. All the way out to here, going forward, and about back to there due to the backpack. Looks like these legs have a bit of a chicken leg double hinge there, so might be able to do some fancy articulation with that. The knees, looks like You can get a little bit more if you bend it on that first actual knee bend there. Now there is, I think this is just for transformation, but there is another bend there. Maybe if you want them to sit a little bit shorter, you can utilize that. I don't think I will, but it's there in case you want to use it. As far as the feet go, he's got forward and back movement, as well as a side-to-side rocker, so pretty generous there. And yeah, just messing around with the articulation on him, man. He's super, super tight. That is awesome. No floppiness, no joints flailing ever. I love to see that on a small deluxe figure, that just tight, nice looking figure. Very cool. Everything, all the joints and everything feel very good. All right, next we'll take a look at him on the 360 turntable. All right, just a couple other little quick things. Here is the height for him. He comes in, yeah, right at about 6 inches there. Okay, so the weapon storage, you would think it goes into that peg hole, but instead it's going to use these two little tabs down here. And just align those to the two tabs on his Target Master and pop those in. And there we go. So if you want him to store his weapon in robot mode, there you go. And as always, guys, here's a look at the instruction manual. All right, let's look at the transformation next. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the transformation. I'm going to straighten out his arms here and then push them off to the side. And yeah, you do want these little clips to rotate on out with that. And then we're going to rotate his arms at the bicep so that the hands are facing down. Pop his head forward on this panel here. There we go. And then we can lift open this panel section here. And next up, we're going to fully extend this up, and then we're going to rotate that around. We are going to, this is kind of odd here how they've hinged this whole thing, but we basically want to straighten out this hinge, and then there's another hinge inside there, and we're just going to kind of move that, slide that one back so this whole panel piece can rest into position there. And with that, just move the head back as far as you're able to get it to go on that little sliding hinge there. You're going to rotate both the arms back, and this is where this gets kind of annoying, because you're going to have these little fiddly pieces that are popping off at this point. And yeah, I really do not like, because they're conflicting with the head, and you need to get that clearance there. So we're just going to maneuver the head down a little bit while we rotate these guys back. And then you're going to straighten them up while still trying to keep those pieces tabbed in, which is easier said than done. And the instructions also want you to have the head rotated like this. Now come to the feet, pop these guys up and lock them into their peg there. We can now rotate the torso, and we're going to pop open these. It's kind of like a Mirage, the War for Cybertron one, in that aspect. And we're going to rotate these guys down on both sides. Now, this is where those double hinge, like chicken legs, come in here. And we're just going to do that Combiner Wars trick to compress these into place. just like that. And then we can go ahead and take both these sides and lock them in. This whole top section can then flip back onto itself, and we just have to look for these peg alignments. There are the pegs and there are the slots right on top there, and just fold it over on top of itself. And we can take these arms, and if there's going to be slots right there at the back of the arms, and they're just going to peg into the back of the feet. And then you can kind of straighten all this stuff up too while you're at it. This is really a pain right here because you have to keep these things pegged into place, and they're constantly fighting to come out. While you get everything kind of in place here, it doesn't feel good. And I mean, that's about as close as you're gonna. Seems like the tolerance, that's it. But man, it's such a tight tolerance. They really should have cut these pieces a little bit less there, so that it wasn't like such a, this feels like so forceful to try to get it all lined up correctly. But anyway, that is the correct alignment there. You can bring these wheels back and just peg them in to the arm slots. This whole front assembly can flip around, and it'll create that front fender, and then this part will flip underneath and lock into place there. And lastly, we can take Spoil Sport and plug him right into the roof of the car, and then he's all armed up and ready to go. We'll take a 360 look in a second. And my one big, it looks cool in all mode, but my one big gripe about it is, again, the transformation is just a little wonky getting these things to align in there. And as you can see, they're still like, seems like it pops out there with the arms folding. But I mean, look at this. We have the space back here to flip these fists in and to put a hinge there or a mushroom peg or something so we get rotation. And that just seems so lazy to me that they couldn't engineer that to flip there to go back inside. But instead, we've got these fists hanging out. So I don't know, especially since, I mean, we have to gripe about it now. These things at retail are going up to $30. That's not what I got this for. You know, the Target, thankfully Target had some sales and stuff going on, but this isn't right. For a $30 figure, especially with the hollow spaces in there for the arms to, the hands to go into, this should have been an easy engineering solution there to make those fists pop in there. Yeah, one big gripe there on top of the transformation. So yeah, we'll come back with some comparisons. And as far as a couple comparisons with some stuff I got out here, here is him with Soundwave and with Cybertronian Jazz. This guy's a little bit small. Still a really cool figure though. And finally, lastly, the one that probably everybody wants to see is these two guys together. And side by side, yeah, my point, this there's all loosey-goosey. This is from Legacy, but I don't know, sometimes they just, the quality control on some of these figures just isn't that good. So yeah, there's those two guys together, right about the same height. But yeah, the QC on this guy, much better. All right, we'll be back with some final thoughts. All right, guys, so thank you for joining me for a look at Transformers Age of the Primes Sureshot today. This is a deluxe class figure with the new price points. This guy's going to run you about $30. Construction-wise, is a really nice figure. Everything feels tight on, so no complaints there. Just a little bit fiddly in the transformation, but I would much rather have a fiddly transformation when compared to this guy here. So take that as you will. Again, hopefully you can find them on sale or something to make up for just a couple points lost on those rotating fists and these little spoiler pieces. But yeah, otherwise, really cool figure. I love the head sculpt, love the colors, and he's going to look great on the shelf. Remember to like, share, and leave a comment down below if you have any questions. And if this is the type of content that you're into, please check out the channel and consider subscribing. Alright guys, until the next one, take care and have fun.